Hello, this is Mr.MonsterConnoisseur. I'm going to be reading Special Education Part 5, posted by user 970_. Now, without further ado, let's begin. September 23rd, 2053. Afternoon, present. Well, doesn't this seem familiar? Running through the woods with nothing but the wind in my hair and thoughts of fear and frustration coating my mind, seeping into every question and remarking thought that passed through me as I was doing so. Weren't we just doing this, me and her, running through the feds at God knows what hour in the morning? Were those even feds at all? I guess I never really bothered to find out. For all I know, they were in on her the whole goddamn time. She may have been even directly working with them. Fuck me, a goddamn Lillum. How the fuck did I get the attention of a goddamn Lillum? Aren't there only like a few of those around? I ruled out the potential of her being a Lillum due to how few of them there are, but I guess I'm the lucky one after all. Just like back then. Fucking hell. I slowed to a stop and weighed my options. When I first left on my bike, I headed east. Must have been around 10 miles. Then after meeting her, we advanced through the woods, probably logging 2 miles south, before heading west towards the town, 6 miles away according to a sign near the gas station. Now I'm currently running westward away from the town and back towards the city's suburbs, and I have next to no clue where I'm going. It's only going to be a matter of time before she wakes up, and I'm sure hell will break loose when she does, so I have to act fast. But I'm out of ideas, and I have no clue what to do next. December 28th, 2042, 11 years ago. I just don't understand why he's acting like this. It's been well over a year now since I first noticed it. I heard a voice of my mother talking over the phone. Yeah, they keep telling me that. I just don't want him to end up like, She continued doing what they do best. Inventing problems and coming up with their own self-beneficial solutions to said problems. Something I've always been fine with, as long as said problems don't involve me, which doesn't seem to be the case here. Whatever, he's 7. He's got plenty of time. I've got my 8th on the way, and I should probably be a little worried about her. Oh, have you seen the... I tuned her out. A skill I was becoming better at each day. I had to put up with this crap, and I continued to stare out the window and wonder about things. I briefly closed my eyes, before quickly reopening them. The afterimage I saw in the dark almost looked like her. My hobby interrupted when I heard the ritualistic banging on the door of one of my siblings. Charlie, come play with us. I heard the typical voice of Marie as she continued to bang on the door. Not now, maybe later, was my typical response. You always say that. You never want to have any fun. She pouted before sliding away. Not even on holiday break. Not even on holiday break, I heard her mumble. I was already having the most fun I could have right now. I was perfectly content, sitting there and doing nothing, without a goddamn care in the world. And they just have to come over and ruin it, because apparently that's a problem, I guess. May 7th, 2044, 9 years ago. We found him wandering around the cliffside, staring down at his father. Currently, we're unsure of how long he's been there. He's been completely silent to us, I heard the cop say. I don't know why I was bothering to listen to it. I can barely concentrate on anything. Nothing feels real now. I don't know what else I can tell you, ma'am. This is the 3rd case of widowhood I've had to break. I'm sorry. I heard the cop slowly lose her voice as she spoke, the words slowing and getting weaker as she continued to utter the final, familiar phrase. Shoggoths, like all Memono, have a special attachment to their partners and family, but theirs are particularly strong, and losing said attachments is an incredibly painful experience for them. So I can only imagine what kind of pain she was going through as she cried, her form of choice being a blob in the corner, vaguely resembling her usual shape. Thanks to that connection, she knew the moment he hit the ground what had happened. As I I watched as my sisters were consoled, funeral arrangements were made, and the authorities slowly pulled away, and I was left alone, holding my infant sister in my arms, staring at her as I felt myself drowning in my own emotions, but never feeling the final release that would cause tears to break out. That might actually cause things to feel different for once. September 23rd, 2053. Present, an hour later. This place is an absolute bust. I suppose I can't expect much, seeing as I'm just outside the city. But goddamn, those looters must have stripped this place bare. The only thing I could find was a bunch of documents dating back to 1998. I guess they must have been polite enough to leave that relic of history behind. To think it all changed in the span of a few hours. I mean, sure, there were places that offered quite a bit of resistance at first, and took a few weeks to get a proper hold of. There are even some rumors that Mammono-less places exist even to this day. But still, how in the fuck did they even manage to find out the Earth in the first place? History class seems to have its own fetish for glossing off over this, as well as the fact that a bunch of Japanese books managed to predict and describe the monster's realm to the finest detail, despite sounding like someone had the bright idea of mashing stranger in a strange land with medieval wings, tails, and tentacles. Whatever. I haven't bothered searching the basement yet. Better cross it off the list. I walked down the basement steps, taking care to make sure it wasn't flooded before stepping down into the room. It was mostly empty, but what immediately caught my eye was a bunch of boxes in the corner, with a large rolled-up sheet of paper lying in one of them, pointing outwards. I bent over and grabbed it. The paper having been laminated and bound by some old tens-era rubber bands. I look at it. I took it upstairs to get a better look at what I was looking at, before I realized it was a map of the whole damn city, circa 2011. According to the date in the bottom left corner, the map showed roads, subway routes, airports, and railroad stations. Holy shit, I may have just found my exit. Probably wouldn't be enough to get it away from the Lilum forever, but at least to buy me some time. I went back to the basement and rummaged through the rest of the boxes, finding letters and notes ranging from 2003 to 2019. I guess the looters avoided this place since it was either too dark or too wet or too damn scary for them, I guess. I have no idea who or what lived here, but whatever. At the bottom of one of these boxes, and off to the side, I happened across a small pocket knife, the kind that folds outward and back into its handle. They stopped making them shortly after the arrival. A note was attached to the side. Dear Evan, when I turned 10, my grandfather gave me one of the greatest tools that human history had to show for itself. A knife. A knife comes with many uses, but also many responsibilities. Knives can either be used to help or to hurt, not just others, but yourself as well. Keep this in mind and try to use it responsibly. I know you've just turned 10, and the current world must seem immortal to you, but it could all change within the blink of an eye. Trust me, I've seen it, and I feel as though it'll happen again. I'm old, Evan, and someday you will be too. Maybe the world will change incredibly in the next 50 years after I'm gone. Maybe just in the next 5. I don't know, or want to know, what's going to happen after these doctors finally decide to pull the plug on me. But I do wish I could be there to guide you. That's why I'm giving you this knife. Let it guide you, but don't let it control you. Use it wisely and with restraint, just like my grandfather taught me. And Evan, one more thing. Me and your grandmother will always love you. From beyond the grave and through the gates of heaven. Love, your grandfather. January 30th, 2022. I stared at the knife, unfolding it and holding it in my hands, as I wondered how it got there. The blade must have seen little use. The date on the note had read 2 weeks before the arrival of the monsters. Maybe it didn't arrive till afterward. Maybe the man who was supposed to own it just forgot about it after getting fucked by some Oni or hellhound. Either way, I took the knife with me and left the abandoned house to its continuing decay. February 19th, 2048. 5.5 years ago. No dice, huh? I heard her say as she walked towards the exposure counselor. The dragon responded with a shrug, saying, I tried, miss. This stuff doesn't work on him. I tried hugging, disrobing, and both at the same time, even some slight teasing. I never had a client be totally unresponsive to it. The exposure is definitely not the way to go here. The Lamia sighed, as yet another session had failed, and this kid that she had spent the past 4 years on had made little to no progress. I should probably note that he appears to have a slight aversion to physical contact. I understand it's not too uncommon with kids who've dealt with some tragedies, but I figured it was noteworthy enough. The Lamia nodded, before slithering towards me, sitting outside the exposure room. Well, that leaves only one option, and it's one that I don't believe anyone in the city has had to use for over a decade, she said bluntly. March 5th, 2048. 5.5 years ago. Isolation therapy was a bust. They just lock you in a room for an entire school day and show you pictures of naked women. How does this shit even work? The fact that they were so flabbergasted at the fact I didn't end up furiously masturbating all over the goddamn couch and sent more emotion to me than whatever porn compilation they'd been blasting in that fucking room. What the fuck is this shit? Normally I'd protest at the fact that they want me to do this every 3 months, but I also found it relaxing. It was nice to get away from the monsters. Besides, and I guess the few humans I get to talk to in the school as well. I wonder if they think this is all because of September 23rd, 2053. Present. 30 minutes later. That's enough reminiscing for now. I don't want to end up caught in that tide again. Gotta move quickly. The train yard, according to this decades-old map, was supposed to have been located a half a mile from the furthest residential suburban area, the side of the city. Which is good, because I'm really not in the mood to test my luck anymore. I have to reach it quickly before... Then, 1B, 8V, 3Q, HJL, HAY, DTIP, PI6QFR question mark SI equal sign QTTSV0KBSVUT 14YG-5VERG. September 23rd, 2053, present. Fuck, can't stop thinking about it. The damn station can't be too far from here. I kept telling myself this as I began to feel washed. I turned around, and my emotions are a corrosive mix of panic and anger. It was the same thing I felt when I saw my dad emerge from the tent to try and cheer me up. I hated it. Hated his stupid smile. That song he always listens to. His man-to-man talks with me. The way he tried to climb down that cliff to receive the thing I dropped over it. The things he told me about him doing it a million times when he was younger. The face he made when he realized that rock he was about to give. The scream he made as he fell. The sound he made when he hit the ground. The next to the thing that he was trying to get for me. The thing which I put there. I don't even remember what it was. That's how inconsequential it was to me. And yet he still tried to get it. All I did afterwards was wander and daydream, just like I've always loved doing at the time. Right until the cops found me and ruined it. They always have to ruin it, don't they? I wasn't having an issue whatsoever. Just wandering and doing nothing, just like back then. With her. They had to invent some sort of issue in order to take me in. Of course, soon they found his body, and I guess the exception proves the rule, because they let me go back to my family the moment they found him and discovered the real problem. That's always what it's about. It's always, shit, she's awake. I don't know how I know, or if I can know, but I know. She's coming for me. God damn it, it's too late. The poison has already taken over. Might as well start running. It seems the only thing I'm good for anyways. Just run. That's all I have to do. Run. That's all I will ever do. Run. Just keep running. And it all will get better. Just keep running. You'll get away eventually. I kept telling myself that. The lie that I could just make it out and be okay. But this damn society would never catch up to me until I couldn't lie to myself anymore. The loom appeared in front of me, stopping me dead in my tracks. I can't run anymore. I never could. Alright, well, this is the end of Special Education Part 5 by user 970_. This has been Mr.MonsterConnoisseur, also known as Hot Dog Man Thing, and goodbye.